is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
Okay, this is the other day. This is Donald Trump on Air Force One talking about what he was going to talk to Putin about today.
We learned a lot. We're doing pretty well, I think, with Russia. And we'll see if we have something to announce maybe by Tuesday. I'll be speaking to President Putin on Tuesday. And a lot of work's been done over the weekend. We want to see if we can bring that war to an end. Maybe we can, maybe we can't, but I think we have a very good chance.
What sort of concessions will you be seeking to have Putin make to get a deal done?
Well, I think we'll, be talking about land.
Land.
It's a lot of land. It's a lot different than it was before the war, as you know. And we'll be talking about land. We'll be talking about power plants.
Power plants.
Because that's up, that's a big question. But I think we have a lot of it already discussed very much by both sides.
You'll ask him.
Ukraine and Russia.
You'll ask him.
We're already talking about that, dividing up certain assets.
Psycho. Okay, so the aggressor, Vladimir Putin, is being treated as an equal to the aggressed, to the invaded. Now, if Donald Trump is selling you a bill of goods about an invasion happening here, I don't know, we're at war with Venezuela or something, I don't know how he gets to the part where America is at war because we're being invaded, but then sides with Vladimir Putin, who is an invader. Isn't that special? Now, you can mull that one over for a little while, okay? I know that we should be treating Russia as if they were an invader of a sovereign nation. The way Donald Trump feels like these four boys from Venezuela invaded our country. They invaded. And now we're at war with these four kids. I honestly, it's so bizarre. He is so inconsistent. It's all about pay me. It's all about, oh, you want to F you, pay me. What's in it for me, pal? What's in it for me, right? This is who he is. This is exactly who he is. Now, I think you got it exactly backwards to the caller that just called. The understanding that I have just from the cursory reportage from the media so far, because remember, Donald Trump doesn't put readouts out. We're very used to other presidents, having note takers. I remember when people first realized there were note takers and that if you were on the phone with the president of the United States, you were not alone on that phone call. There were a lot of people on that phone call. However, in this case, that's true too. So, some people are like giving a briefing to the news media about what was discussed. Here's my understanding of what was discussed, and who the hell knows, right? Because the administration he's a liar. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's a thief. He's all those things. He's a con man. So I don't know. But what my understanding is that Putin, now remember, Zelensky agreed to a 30-day ceasefire with no preconditions. None whatsoever. Russia, on the other hand, and you saw him tip his hand there on Air Force One, say, oh no, we're going to talk about land because it's different now than before the war, meaning they invaded and they took land and they don't want to give it back. He's literally on the side of the invader, of the invading military. It's just very sick. So anyway, the Zaporizhia power plant, that is what he said. He's going, oh, we're going to talk about power plants. Russia wants it. Russia wants the Zaporizhia power plant. And, I don't know what kind of shape it's in. I know that it was under attack for the last, year, right? Everybody knows that. It's the last 3 years, actually. It's been, shelled. It's been, there's been artillery. It's been bombed. I mean, you name it. They've attacked that power plant 8 ways to Sunday. I remember, when we were first all about Ukraine, all of us were in, and people were saying, oh my God, he's attacking a nuclear power plant. What if he actually hits it? So I know he wants that. Donald Trump is like acting as if he gave it already to Vladimir Putin. But what was agreed to today by Putin was a 30-day ceasefire with conditions. And there are a lot of them. He wants Ukraine to not receive any intelligence briefings so that they can't target anything, okay, in Russia. And they have been targeting things in Russia. They've been targeting infrastructure in Russia, and they've occupied this one little region in Western Russia that's kind of just over the border of Ukraine and Russia called Kursk. I'm sure those of you who care about this know what's going on there. And Donald Trump lied the other day for Vladimir Putin. He literally put on Truth Social a big ass lie about how the Ukrainian troops in Kursk, in the Kursk region of Russia, were surrounded. They were all surrounded by Russian forces, and that Putin was going to massacre these forces. He was going to close the circle and start firing on them and kill them all. And it would be a bloody, bloody massacre. And he was begging Zelensky, please, please pull your troops out of Kursk because the Russians are they're going to slaughter you, man. And that is not the situation on the ground in Kursk, according to Zelensky. But what Putin wants is for Zelensky not to know. He wants no intel going to Zelensky. That's one of the conditions. The other thing he agreed to, Putin agreed to stop targeting Ukrainian power plants. Ukrainian power plants, not the other way around. Remember, Zelensky agreed to a 30-day ceasefire with no conditions, none, meaning he wouldn't do anything. He wouldn't fire a bullet. He wouldn't do a thing, nothing. And also, it seems like what Putin agreed to is no foreign military assistance to Ukraine either, meaning we stop sending anything, artillery, ammunition, anything at all, to Ukraine. And also he wants Ukraine to agree never to join NATO, which is a ruse. Okay, that's just bait. Okay, that's chumming the water, this whole NATO thing. This whole NATO rationale for why he had to attack them. He had to. You just got to remember that NATO has never attacked anybody. Okay, NATO is a defensive force. It is a transatlantic partnership that has kept Europe safe and secure all these many years, almost 80 years now. Putin doesn't like it because he wants to attack NATO countries. He would like to go into Estonia, for God's sake. You know, and what's happened as a result of his invasion, his war that he started in Ukraine, is NATO got bigger. NATO added 2 countries, right? Finland and Sweden. So it's not going well for Vladimir Putin. And whenever you hear, well, Vladimir is, negotiating from a position of strength, I'm choking on it, okay? Because it's not true. It's not true. This thing at best is a stalemate. At worst, Ukraine is winning, okay, because they took a Russian town and they're holding it to swap parts of, I don't know if they're, today, Putin likes dates. Dates are very important to Vlad. I don't know what his superstition is. I don't know, like his spiritual advisor. Okay, this crazy, what's his name? The Dugan guy, Dugan. His, like a priest that advises him in this, weird sort of Catherine the Great kind of a way. Anyway, they're very big on dates. Today is the 11th anniversary to the day today that Vladimir Putin invaded Crimea and took Crimea. And so this is why he probably blocked out 2 hours to talk to, Trumpy boy today on this date, because dates mean something, very superstitious to him. But anyway, nothing really got done as far as I can tell. We'll have a 30-day conditional ceasefire. If Zelensky agrees to not get any intelligence and to not receive any military gear from any NATO country. I don't know does it apply to the United States? Is it all of NATO? I don't know. See, this is what I don't know. There's a lot of little details. And, when you're talking life and death, war and peace, details matter. So you'll have to excuse me if I don't have a solid opinion on what occurred today, because I don't know what occurred today. I just know that something occurred today. I know there was a phone call. I know what today's date is. I know why it was scheduled for today. I know that Vladimir Putin asked for no NATO, no military intelligence, and no weapons going into Ukraine. I don't know how that's going to sit. I don't know how that's going to fly when Zelensky was the bigger person who showed himself and the world that he was ready for peace with no conditions. None. So, but the President of the United States taking the side of the invading army that isn't a democracy in Europe? Holy crap, man. I don't know if we're a democracy. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.